Hi, Tim. It's Helen Zurek. Nice to see you.
Helen, how are you?
I'm amazing.
I know you are. It was so great to get your email a few weeks ago. It's like, she's back. Woo!
Well, I did get hit by a truck, and I am back.
I know that, but that's perseverance.
Yeah, thank you. It's the brain definitely controls the body, and you got to work through it.
So Tim, I think probably the best way to do this is what we've normally done with the town halls, is that if folks have specific questions, they put them in the chat and Lindsay and I will triage them together for you.
Yeah, that works. That's perfect. And so what I'll do is kind of touch on this, kind of a prelude for everybody that's on the call right now before we actually start this, and kind of go through some key points. And then as people, if you can somewhat wait to pose your questions, because those are quite a few things we'll get through first, then we can certainly circle back and get those questions answered. Does that work?
Yep. And Tim, we're at the hour. So do you want to go ahead and get started? We've got a pretty good group. It looks like we have 44 people on the call now.
Yeah. Do you want to go another minute? Another minute, just in case people are having trouble getting linked into the Zoom.
And what we'll do is, because we're recording this, we'll have it uploaded to YouTube like we do with most of these. Lindsay will put it up on the team pages. We'll get it up on our Facebook pages, and so everybody will have access to the recording. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can just email us to teamusa@usatriathlon.org, and Lindsay or I will get back to you as soon as we can. I think we're ready. We're ready for your questions.
That number is building a little bit. You see that we're up to 50 now. So. All right. Should we start, Liz?
Oh my gosh, power.
I think if everyone could please mute your phones before we get started, so we don't have any background noise. And Tim, I think why don't we go?
All right. Welcome everyone to the town hall, which will focus specifically on the Townsville cancellation, as you guys are aware, happened at 3:34 a.m. according to my first email on this came from the overseas and the World Triathlon team that has talked to us about this. You know, it's interesting. I was on a World Triathlon Multi-Sport Committee call yesterday late afternoon, and the person that works with us as the staff person within World Tri said there's an announcement coming on Townsville. And I said to him, great, how about telling us what it is? And he says, I can't do that. As soon as I heard that, I knew that it was probably not ideal. And so we obviously learned this morning that the cancellation of Townsville, Australia, Multi-Sport Worlds in 2022 was real. So how are we managing the different movements going forward? The great thing is that we're not going to change that much. Qualifiers will stay in place as is, right? So if you've earned spot for Townsville and you are planning on going to Townsville, hold on to those spots for now, because it's important for us to keep you in place for that period of time. If you could please mute your phone, guys, there's getting a lot of feedback. Please mute your phone. Thank you.
I have no idea. There shouldn't be any internet connection anyway.
The people that are looking to go to qualifying events moving forward will and should continue to go to those qualifying events as well. So everybody should be keenly aware that there are several different qualifying events coming up as we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not
Those events should stay in place as is.
Mute their phone. We can't hear you at all.
The connectivity. Yeah.
So
he showed up.
Please mute your phone.
Okay.
So
Everybody-
you know, I told him he was swamped.
Tim Wagner, please
He said,
mute
"Oh,
your
I'll
phone.
leave, and when I'm done, he'll come back." So then I kind of was getting hungry. So I said, "Oh, I'll get over here."
Yeah,
If
sorry
somebody
about
comes
that.
in. No. I mean, I have to ask you.
Alberto Vivas, please mute your phone. Alberto Vivas, please mute your.
Well,
Which has nothing to do with us, but
There is an auto mute function too, Liz, that we might need to hit.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that. Hope is telling me she can help me find it, but
Okay, so let me back up just a little bit since I could not hear myself speak about what we were doing. The plan moving.
Excuse me, Tim.
Yes.
I'm sorry to bother you. Whoever's hosting the meeting, select participants, and underneath participants, you can say mute all, and that'll mute everybody as soon as they get in.
all right, we're all set. Go ahead, Tim. I just have to unmute you. Hold on.
Tim, you're muted.
There we go. Everybody good? Everyone is muted. We have the detail. Okay. How will we manage this moving forward? All qualifiers are going to stay in place as is. Very easy, very simple. If you earned a spot for Townsville moving forward, those slots will still exist. We will not make any movement with those until we know of what's going to happen with World Triathlon's announcement on a replacement event. For all those who are looking at going to a qualifier, by all means, should you still go? You need to go because there will be very, very few options for you to make wherever it is that we may end up in 2022 on the world team possible, unless you go to those qualifying events. If there is a venue for 2022 and athletes choose not to compete, deferral to 2023 is not going to be an option. And it can't be because we can only defer when there is not an event that takes place on the world calendar. Everybody good with that? This has been standard operating procedure for us and continues to be something that we would stand behind as we move forward. If there's not a venue in 2022, then we'll defer athletes from Team USA 2020, 2021, and 2022 for 2023 Worlds, just as we've been doing with our World Championships over this past year, year and a half. Now, if athletes wish to cancel their spot in Townsville, they can. They just need to come back to us. They'll just lose their deposit per standard operating procedure that we've held in place. So for recent movements, what might this mean? Well, if you went to Long Beach last weekend and you're on the wait list, then you're going to remain on the wait list. If you were one of those that was able to get a spot for Worlds, then you're going to be able to acquire your spot and accept it. So as per our standard operating procedure, that process we set up for acknowledging interest will still be in play. What's that mean for off-road try that we sent yesterday? Per the email, still as planned. No shifts from that. Again, we need for you to confirm interest, and then once you know the venue, you can confirm if there is still what you want to do with Worlds by attending or not. Everybody clear on that? All athletes who are all auto-qualified are going to be in position for Townsville or the replacement event as promised. So there's nothing that's going to change with that. So it's pretty much a status quo. One of the questions we know is going to come up is where might the event land and on what date? And so this is not for us to make, as you guys know. This is simply and essentially something that World Triathlon has to make on their own. It's something that we get a weight on, and wherever they decide we're going to go is what we'll do as far as making shifts and adjustments on what the team then needs to do on our end. Sitting on the World Triathlon Multisport Committee as I do, we have provided some recommendations to them. They may use previous locations. So they may look at Penticton. They may look at Finn. They may look at Pontevedra. They may look at future bids. We're going to Ibiza in 2023. We're looking at other venues for 2024. They may try to accelerate those and get those moved up. They could parcel out different disciplines, such as what they did this year with off-road having a standalone event, Extra Madeira, with what they did with Avila Spain with duathlon. We don't know. And fortunately, we get to listen and learn and react as these announcements are made so that we can communicate back to you where it is that we're going and what we're doing. And we would obviously have a town hall call around that. Now, some of you have been asking, what are we doing about aquathlon for this year? Probably the only discipline that doesn't have a home yet based on the announcements that World Triathlon has made. And so what we're doing is we're going to defer to 2022, wherever that event might be, to allow those athletes to, again, put on hold where it is that we're going and not have to confirm spots. By chance, you want to cancel regardless, you can, and then we move people off the wait list that has started and really gotten big as a result of Long Beach this past weekend. What about Almere? Some of you have asked us about what Almere is doing, and the communication from the race director has been very clear. There's a moratorium on events through August 14th, but they are feeling very, very good that that moratorium will be lifted and they'll have a chance to host the event as scheduled. We are on a safe list. As countries are noted as safe or unsafe, we are on the safe list for that country. So what that means is we'll have some forms that we'll need to document, that we'll need to submit. Each athlete will have to sign as we move forward. We're going to have a call on this, very brief call, but a call on this on Monday as part of a town hall so that people going to Almere know what it is that we're going to have done there as well. My recommendation to everyone is to avoid the many, many hoops and hurdles that are going to have to be overcome, is that you seriously consider vaccination. I can't tell you to be vaccinated, but I can tell you that in order to avoid having long quarantines, to avoid having multiple layers of tests every day where you're going to have to do certain things at the venue or near the venue, vaccination should become part of your decision as you seek the opportunities that exist for you, whether it be Bermuda, whether it be Almere, whether it be Aviles or Extremadura. So that is some of the updates that we wanted to get to you today. And we know there are some questions that are probably going to be landing in the chat box, which we're going to answer now as Liz and Lindsay can get those to me and we can move through those one by one.
Yeah, Tim, what if you made a deposit, but you want, now that Townsville you made a deposit for Townsville and now that it's been canceled, you can't go to the new location. Can you get that deposit back?
You will not get the deposit back. It is non-refundable. And we've been very clear this entire time that even with the shifting landscape, that deposits are not going to be refundable. And we are holding true because that has been the case since 2015. And it's proved true through 2019, 2020, as we've noted. Okay. Here's the other thing I'll say with that too, Lindsay, that I would hold on doing anything with Worlds or making that declaration that they don't want to go. We may end up going to a really amazing place and have an incredible time as Team USA athletes going to a new part of the world. And so I would hope that people are not that quick to make the decision on where it is that they would not go.
Thanks. Another question, what about multi-sport legend?
As we know, the Multi-Sport Legend is doing 4 of the events that are part of Multi-Sport Festival. We don't know what's going to happen. We have to assume that, and this has come up many times on the World Triathlon Multi-Sport Committee calls, we are putting extra time and focus into this. The new location more than likely will have the Legends as part of that. Matter of fact, it'll be a push by me. It'll be a push by World Triathlon. It'll be a push by the Multi-Sport Committee of World Triathlon to make sure that doesn't go away.
Great, thanks. What if someone declined a Townsville spot at DoNats due to its long distance location, but now they would be open to going to the new location, wherever that will be?
It's a really good question, and I want us to be fair and very clear that right now that is not part of a priority that we've established. What we can discuss, and this would be a discussion that Lindsay, Brian D'Amico, and I would have, is if there are availability of slots, might we create that as a new priority for us to go back to the athletes that refuse and reject those spots to see if there's any interest. Again, we're not going to make a commitment to that now. We're going to see what slots happen as far as numbers and density and stuff like that. And if we feel that there's the space, the need to fill more slots, then we'll make that a priority shift and we'll add that to the details we send out to the athletes.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tim. Thanks. Another question came in about standard aqua bike and how there's not a home yet. And so kind of what is the plan with standard aqua bike?
Standard Aqua Bike actually does have a home. It's being tied to one of the other distances. It's being tied to Abu Dhabi. That'll be in November of 2022.
Great. A question came in about slots for Aviles for this year and how we said emails would go out in the next couple of weeks. I can chime in on that and say they will be going out soon. Thank you for being patient with us. We have a lot of moving pieces right now with our national events. All of us were out last week producing an event. So we will get those emails out. It's on the to-do list. So thanks for staying patient there.
And just know that Lindsay Welker, who's on this call, in case you have not met Lindsay, she is the day-to-day operational manager for this program and will be the person that if you haven't met her, you should introduce yourself to her when you see her at Nationals in a couple of weeks in case you're going. But she'll be the person that'll be doing all the great work behind the scenes. And in some cases, we'll put her front and center so that you have a chance to get to know who she is. She's incredible. We're excited to have her and she'll do great work. And so when she speaks on her to-do list, you'll know that you're going to get a commitment from her to follow through with that.
Thanks, Tim. Another question came in about the remaining events for Almere for this year. And if they are ultimately canceled, will those who paid a deposit be prioritized for 2022 qualification, wherever that new location would be? Which I believe you already spoke to that, how
I did speak to that. So if we have a cancellation with Almere, then what we would do obviously is defer to 2022, wherever that event might actually be. And we will work close with the athletes on anything and everything they need to do to secure those spots.
Yep. Another question came in about the time frame for trying to get 2022 Worlds relocated. I believe you already spoke to that, how it's kind of up to World Tri.
It is, and we don't have any idea of what that's going to look like, when it's going to be. Just know that they probably did not want to make that release public yesterday without having an option in their back pocket. So we got an Olympic Games, as you know, coming up this week. They're probably still looking for the Edmonton replacement event alongside now the Townsville replacement event. So they'll be working that over the next couple of months. Our hope would always be that we get something from them in the next couple of months so we can plan on what the 2022 season is going to look like, but we just can't do that with any guarantee.
For people who qualified in Long Beach last week for a aquathlon, someone asked, when will they be expected to make a deposit for the new location?
So what we'll do is we're going to hold true to all the same deadlines that we've established. So when Lindsay gets that email out to everyone, it will be as if we still had an event happening, because we need to, again, we've done this for the last 18 months. We've responded in a consistent way where we have deadlines, timelines that we abide by. We have commitments that are made by the athletes, and we'll continue to do that because the longer we extend that, the more difficult it becomes for us to really pinpoint what these team sizes are and to get slots passed down. We have a lot of people waiting to go to Worlds in aquathlon who are going to be on a wait list, and the sooner we can actually get that cleared, the better it is for everybody to start making plans and moving forward.
Great. And as Tim and I kind of discussed this morning, we're still going to be sending out spot allocation emails. For example, from Long Beach, you're going to get a link to claim your spot for Townsville. We're going to kind of use that as just a holding place right now until we have that new location. Like Tim said, we just kind of need to keep the process as is, and we need to get you, claiming your spot for 2022 on wherever that might be, but it will be, the link will be for Townsville, again, just kind of as a holding place for now.
And know that what we'll do too is when we learn the new location, Lindsay will go back to all of you, to all the athletes, and say, our new location is, our new date is, please indicate your interest in coming to this event. That way we can ratify who it is that will now move forward and who it is that will not move forward with that particular location and date.
Yep, correct. Another question, will GFT have qualifying spots for Aquabike?
Great Floridian in October will have 2 spots for Aquabike. So 2 spots per age group for Aquabike. We were able to get that addition made about 6 weeks ago. And so that is the good news. And so athletes will have the ability to go there. The reason why we made that shift was because of you. We listened to you during one of these calls, and we know that people are going to be coming back from Almere, may not be able to get to New York for nationals, and we're wanting a few more weeks of time before qualification. So what will happen is athletes will be able to go there. They'll be able to go to Claremont and get the long distance Aquabike spots that are going to be available.
Yeah, some follow-up questions on that, which you just said. It will be for long distance Aquabike, correct?
Correct.
Great. That's all the questions in the chat. We got through those pretty smooth. Okay, one more just came in. Is registration for Bermuda opening soon? Yes, those emails will be going out by the end of this weekend for the Bermuda athletes. Let's see, there's a note about one question that it looks like I missed. So I'm going to look back at that. Tim, do you have anything else to add?
No, Dave Lasorsa, I believe, asked a question that maybe hasn't been answered yet. So if you can scroll maybe to Dave's question.
Yep, I just see that. So he asked if everything we showed in the last town hall for Townsville remains the same, as if do all the same priorities still apply?
Correct. That's a good question. And the same priorities will apply. We released, for those of you too who are doing off-road, we released the new priorities for those athletes as well, which did mirror very, very closely the qualification protocols that we established for Townsville as well. So those will still apply as is. Here's the good thing about all this, you guys, is that there's no panic. And I don't think there's panic by athletes, and there's no panic by USAT. There may be panic by World Triathlon, but that's not our responsibility. But the great thing is you guys are patient, and you guys know that we're getting some punches. We're getting hit in the back and the back of the head and the face. And you know what, though? We're doing everything we can. And I think a few of you have noted that even in the chat that you appreciate the work. And my morning started at about 5:45 this morning. I got a couple of calls from a couple of people looking at emails. And so we brought the team in immediately. We had our plan that we enacted. We're doing everything we can. We just appreciate you guys being patient with us and going with the punches.
Tim, do you want to just mention really quickly the Almere Town Hall that we've scheduled for August
Monday.
2nd, Monday, August 2nd?
Yeah, it's Monday, August 2nd. What we're not going to go into a lot of detail. One of the things that Liz and the service team and Lindsay and I have been hearing is that people are like, what do I do about Almere? When we have that town hall call, it's not going to be about USA Triathlon is sending or not sending a team to Almere. It will not be that. It will be, here's what we know about Almere. So based on what we said today, which was we have a green light, USA is on the safe list. All we have to do is have some entry forms completed. We're moving forward. The deposit then would be forwarded by Lindsay to you to pay for the registration fee. We're just going to kind of touch base and see if anything has shifted with any of that. It may be a 10-minute call. It may be a 50-minute call, depending on how many questions we were going to have. But essentially, we're just going to give you the update if anything has changed on the side of Almere relative to that event.
Yeah, and Liz, can you confirm, has that town hall link been sent out?
I will check on that. I know we set it up, and I'll get with our marketing and communications team and make sure that gets out, and we'll get it out on the Facebook groups as well.
And the recording of this particular meeting will also be posted for people that maybe couldn't take place in this call. We're up to 86 participants, so there are many who may not hear this unless they see the taping. So please encourage people to do that. I know that Judy and Patty and others are responding to a lot of people that are asking the same questions. And so it's going to be easier for us to say, listen to the town hall, take in what you heard, And if questions come from that, certainly our team will be prepared and ready to respond to those.
Tim, another question that has been asked a couple of times. Any chance that 2022 Worlds can be held in the US?
You know, it's a great question. And it's one that we've talked about. Matter of fact, I probably spent 30 hours of my time in the last 2 weeks looking at an Edmonton replacement event. We just couldn't make it work. There are just too many things happening overseas that it was going to become an American only event, essentially with a few Canadians and a few Mexicans and maybe a peppering of people from overseas, but it wasn't going to be worth it. We just couldn't make it work with the team that we had, but we had a location. Same thing with multi-sport option is we'll go back and we'll have some conversations. We'll look at some options and we'll see what we can do around that. The problem is that securing long course races these days, unless you already have a long course event, is really, really hard to do. And so more than likely you would look at that as a highest priority if the event could support something of this magnitude, so on and so forth. We will certainly look at that. We can't make any promises, but we would certainly see what we can do, and it would hopefully be in a little bit better time frame for us. The August date didn't really work well for Townsville because it was right behind our age group national championship. And so if we were to consider anything, we would make sure it's as free and clear based on international calendar as we could possibly make it.
Great, thanks, Tim. Another question just came in. Any updates or confidence about the November V-Lace event for duathlon happening?
Solid. I feel very, very good about that happening. I think Spain is a lot more like the US than different relative to that. I feel that's, I think, is why Extremadura was also added as the off-road event the weekend before, because Spain is so open. And I actually work very closely with the decision maker in Spain on the multi-sport committee. And she said that we are really open and flexible to doing anything and everything we have to do to make the schedules work. And so I feel really good about Extremadura, and I feel even better about Aviles.
Yeah, and what about Bermuda? That's going to happen, right?
Bermuda's going to happen.
Yep.
We've gotten communication back from the race director. Now here's with Bermuda. If you do not vaccinate and you want to go to Bermuda, you're going to have a 14-day quarantine. No way around it. And everybody else is still going to have to test on successive days. The first day you arrive, the third, I think it's the third day. I'm going to go back and look at that again. I think it's the third day, the 7th day, and then the 14th day if you actually stay over. So even though the door is open for us to go to Bermuda, there's still a lot of hurdles and hoops we're going to have to jump over and through in order for us to be able to make this work. Yes, the inconveniences of going to other countries is prevalent, but I will say this. The Bermuda course is going to be amazing. The Bermuda opportunities are going to be amazing. We wouldn't miss it for the world. We hope those that are going to Bermuda are excited about it as we are.
What documentation will be needed for athletes to bring for the European events and just regarding COVID? Yeah,
whether it be going to Zoffingen for long due worlds or going to Spain or Almere, we will get from the countries that documentation, and we'll try to get that to you guys as soon as possible. Lindsay can add that to her hit list. And as soon as we can get those, we'll have them out to you guys so you can start the prep and do whatever you need to do to secure the documentation that goes beyond just having this form completed.
Thanks, Tim. Any chance on finding out who the 2022 uniform supplier is? Not sure if we're ready to announce that yet.
We cannot announce that yet. I will say this, you're going to be excited. I'm excited because I'm aware of what they provide, but we can't make the announcement yet. Sorry, guys.
Will age groupers be able to qualify for Bermuda at AGNC in Milwaukee?
They will not. We have locked down qualification for Bermuda. We had held out that would be a possible last chance qualifier. The problem is we've got deadlines that are looming, and it's a process that takes some time, and we've just said We cannot allow for Milwaukee to be part of that equation. So what we have for Bermuda right now is what we're going to lock down.
Great. And just to confirm, is it possible that a 2021 replacement site for Edmonton may still be announced, or should those athletes just plan on Abu Dhabi in 2022?
You know what? It is possible, yes, that can still happen. Matter of fact, when we went back to World Tri, it said it's just not going to work for us to consider this. It probably opened the door for them to still consider some opportunities. Do we know that for certain? We don't. Do we believe it's still happening? We do. Is there a deadline by which we would know something? We just don't know. So we're going to go forward as if those events are being pushed into 2022, and we'll move accordingly. We have our plan Bs in place. If they do find a replacement event, we have our plan in place if they don't.
Thanks, Tim. Can you go over which events qualify for Montreal in 2022?
Yeah, and I saw that question come in, and we have a new infographic that's on the website that I think is really important to note. Liz, you and Lindsay were able to get Cassie to post the lights, but here's what we'll do is we'll go through that really quick. The events qualifying for Montreal: Draft Legal Sprint Triathlon. Qualifying events are going to be Milwaukee. It's coming up in 2 weekends. And then the age group it's going to be the Draft Legals is going to be one single event. It's Draft Legal Nationals in Tempe. We made that shift, Lindsay. So there's one event to qualify for Draft Legal for Montreal. The age group mixed relay is going to be qualified through the same event. So this year we had a split between 2 races. We had a non-draft sprint that qualified part of the team. We had a draft legal sprint race that qualified the other half of the team. And we're still going through those mixed relay slots right now. We said we got to clean this up. We're going to use draft legal to be part of a draft legal mixed relay event. And that's why it's going to Tempe. That's going to be, as you know, November 12th and 13th, NCAA weekend in Tempe. It's an amazing course. Matter of fact, people that did this course in 2019 said the best, purest draft legal course we've ever done. If you are not planning on going there, you should. I've not seen registration information yet, Lindsay, but we can put that on our list. It's not being managed by us. It's being managed by a local group. And so we will push that local group to get that registration page open for you guys to start that process. But to make it easy, to go to Montreal, you show up in Tempe and you have a chance to be part of 2 different teams.
Tim, also for Montreal, the top 8 at age group nationals in Milwaukee will qualify for Montreal.
I thought we had nixed that.
So Montreal is sprint distance.
Draft legal sprint.
So the top 8 at Milwaukee will qualify, and then the top 10 at draft legal in Tempe will complete the team. However, for mixed relay, which is also happening in Montreal, all mixed relay qualifications will happen in Tempe.
I stand corrected. I thought we were looking at my infographic here. That was the outdated one that we had originally. So I stand corrected. Matter of fact, the infographic, what we can do is send out the link to that, post the link on the Facebook page. That way people can go there and then have the correct information in their hands, in their possession of what they need to do there. Just that process.
Yeah, the infographics are super spelled out and very detailed. Highly encourage you guys to go to our website, and they're on the homepage. There's 4 different infographics. Really encourage you guys to look at those. Everything is spelled out, detailed, what qualifies for what. But just to clear up Montreal, top 8 spots at AGNC in Milwaukee will qualify for sprint. The remaining 10 spots will be qualified in Tempe, and then all mixed relay spots will only be qualified in Tempe.
Thanks, Lindsay, for that correction. Good detail.
That's all the questions I see in the chat. I just want to say thank you to everyone for the super positive feedback and comments that are coming in. Our team is working really hard to serve you guys and just adapt on the fly with these changes that World Try is throwing at us. So thank you for being patient with us, and just know that we will get information out to you guys as quickly as we can whenever we have it.
Yep. Again, thanks. And be aware of any type of future town halls that we might bring together. Anytime new information breaks, we'd like to bring these together to give you guys the opportunity to learn firsthand, to ask the questions, and the questions are great. And we appreciate your patience. So have a great Friday. Have a great holiday weekend. Watch the Olympic Games. Watch triathlon, which will be telecast on Sunday and Monday, and then the mixed relay on Friday. So hopefully you guys are supporting the U.S. athletes that are overseas. The real quick question, when the town hall is being announced, town halls are going to be sent to every person that's registered for a particular discipline for which the town hall is being held will receive that information from us.
And Tim, we know a few people say they don't get the emails, so I can check those against the registration list. They just need to let us know. The email that you used at the time you registered for your qualifying event is the email that is being used to send emails to. So if you changed your email or you used a work email when you shouldn't have to register for your event, you need to let us know so we can update our list so you actually get them. And Tim, I just want to also say, you know, there's been a few comments that were sent to me privately about, you know, you didn't give us enough time for this town hall. And I think it's important to understand that we wanted to get in front of the rumor mill and be able to give people the straight story. And if we had waited 24 hours to schedule this, there would have been all sorts of, you know, information out there that may have not been accurate. So that's why we moved so quickly to do that.
And it's also why we record it, and why we record it, and then allow for everyone to be sent that link so they can people can still hear it and see it and take part in it.
Yeah, and one final thing to note with town halls, I know there's a lot of different Team USA Facebook pages out there, but we will post all the town hall links on the USA Triathlon Team USA Facebook page. So if you don't follow that page, please go follow that. We push all our information out on that page as well. So if you miss an email, you can assure that you can find that information on the USA Triathlon Team USA Facebook page.
Okay, everybody, thank you again. Have a great Friday. We will hopefully speak to some of you on Monday for the next town hall on Almere. Take care.